There we go. Let's see that. Can you hear me? Kinda, sorta? No, not yet. One time we had a talk where the microphone was muted.
Muted the whole time?
Really see the volume meters light up.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. We are featuring Nina Stanley with Painting to Pixels. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's not interesting, although they
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, that's marked. The microphone. That's correct. It's a little shame that the streaming quality right now is at absolute 0.
Oh, there it goes. Volume. Sound first.
Oh, there we go. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Sam.
IT coordinator for
Always helps to have a little IT. All right. So, can you hear me okay? Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So I started doing art when I was very small before I could talk, and I've been doing art all my life. Always knew I was going to be an artist, and decided that I wasn't going to be doing computers because my dad worked in computers. He did mainframe computers for Data General, and there was always computers in the house, and I just was not going to do that. So I went to school, and he said, when I went to college, he said, please do something that's going to make you a living, okay? You got a living as an artist, if you're going to make an art. He doesn't remember saying that, but it's really funny that he did. So I started out in graphics, graphic design, I would do that. I worked in a print shop, and then I transitioned to, I took drawing classes, and I said, I love this. So I went to switch my major to illustration. And it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree, so it's like, it may take a long time, but stick with it because it's totally worth it. And then I wasn't doing it so I could make money. But that wasn't the idea. I wanted to learn how to be an artist, and I wanted to be an artist like the old masters in the Renaissance and the Pre-Raphaelites and all the Bouguereau and all those wonderful artists that they just kind of tossed into the gutter in the 1920s. And so I did find a professor that was able to teach me in the traditional figurative arts in the old academic style of painting and drawing, which is what I loved. I didn't know what I wanted to say with my art, but I knew that I had to know how to say it first. So I learned to speak the language before I tried to write the novel. So still haven't written the novel. At any rate, it was challenging to find a professor in the 80s and 90s that was really promoting traditional skills and foundation skills and really understanding how to make good art and solid understanding of form and space and light and mass and tone and all that stuff that people don't bother learning anymore because they think it's not important, that the computer does it all. Well, the computer doesn't do it all because you have to control the computer. So while I was getting my master's degree, I think it was grade 4, I can't remember exactly the timeline, but at any rate, I was doing all kinds of weird jobs in a print shop. I switched from illustration to painting at the end of my educational career because I just loved painting. Everybody thought I was going to die a starving artist. So while I was working on my master's degree, I got hooked up with I was working in a coffee shop in Seattle, and it's a story. It's all over. You can find interviews with me on the story all over the internet. So, guy comes in and he's like at 6 in the morning with bags under his eyes and reading Carlos Castaneda, and I'm the only one because I'm opening up at 6 in the morning because I have a 4-year-old and a single mom. I'm going to school full time, all this crazy stuff. And he says, oh, it's after a while. Oh, so you're an artist. This was a painting that I actually did for my graduate exhibit is the man on the left is it's the representational of the triptychs of the masculine and the feminine, and this was one of the kings, and he's Hades, basically the god of the underworld. He has all this wealth, but he has, he's sad. He's got the sadness, even though he should be happy. So I was really into iconography and mythology and symbology and all the classic tales and stories and all that stuff. So then I get this, decide to go ahead and give it a shot with this this Nintendo developer, third-party Nintendo developer, non-licensed, and they had taken a circuit, they reverse engineered the Nintendo Entertainment System. So there was a circuit board stuffed in the top of the Nintendo machine, and you had to, it was onto a television set, and you had to scroll through all the colors that were in the system, and pick out the colors for your palettes. You had 4 palettes. Each palette has 4 colors, and the first color in each palette was transparent, so you really only had 3 colors, so you really only had 12 colors. So how do you make anything in 12 colors? And 12 colors within the character of 8 by 8 pixels, because everything was done after you picked out your color palette, you start laying your pixels out in this 8 by 8 square, trying to build a sprite or something that was going to be made out of many characters all together, and you were just doing it pixel by pixel. It was awful. So I said, forget it, I'm not doing this. And I went back to serving coffee. And then he came back a few weeks later and said, well, we finished designing this, we wrote this program called Nindraw. It's a DOS, I think it was in DOS, but you guys can tell me better, I don't remember exactly. DOS. That was our drawing tool for our 8-bit Nintendo games. It represented 256 characters, which are 8 by 8 squares or pixels, in the top layer, which would be sprites or anything in the foreground, or titles or whatever. You can see this is a title for this particular level. And there's the 4 palettes at the very top, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then the bottom was all for backgrounds. And you only had 256 characters. So you had to build an entire world out of 256 characters. So you had to learn how to tile, how to repeat stuff, and then where to break it up so it didn't look so boring, and make the biggest possible world that you can just using these 256 characters. And the most interesting sprites, or the animations, the little figures, they're called sprites in those days, into each level. This was for Secret Scout, which was one on the very tail end of the work I was doing for this company. But I did this for 3 years. And we did, Venice Beach is one of the games I worked on. Nintendo, King Neptune's Adventures is the one with the little king. So if I go back to the first one with the king, I didn't know what order to put my slides in, so I'm just going to hop around a little bit. That's King Neptune on the right, and that's the king of the underworld on the left. And I was doing these 2 things at the same time. So if you really look at it, you see the laser works. You can kind of see more how he's supposed to look when you shrink him way down. You can see he's like a merman with a little crown and a little scepter. But you can't tell that from the pixels. That's all you get for that particular bit of art. So this was towards the end of working in big console stuff. I was working on N64. Pretty much stuck with Nintendo for most of the time. That seemed to be the thing I was doing. And these were done around the same time as well. That's a tarot card painting. It's a life-size painting of my 4-year-old daughter as the world, which is one of the last cards in the tarot. So I'm very interested in, again, mythology, iconography that carries on through. And on the right is the Q64 magazine for Sarge's Heroes for the N64, which I did the illustration for in Photoshop. This is an oil painting on the left, and that's Photoshop on the right. So you can use that. The main thrust of what I want to talk about is how having basic art skills and understanding how to create light and shadow, form and depth and perspective, and a composition that's balanced and makes sense, and all these things that artists normally would learn. But I don't think they're teaching so much now. In the school that I teach at now, they only get 1 or 2 classes in that. I remember I took like like 2 years of just basic design stuff. And you spend years and years drawing from observation, is how can you possibly make, you know, I can remember we used to play, what was the Dune one? It was like a Space Dune or something. You have to build a little box with a plus sign, a life box, right? But how do you know how to make a box look like a box if you haven't looked at a box and drawn a box and understood how to make a box look like a box in a three-dimensional space? This was back before they were doing 3D modeling. Really, it was like all illusion. It was all about the illusion. So the same tools that I used on the painting of the child on the left, I used on the, wasn't 3D rendered models that I posed in different positions to set up into this it's got this very classic kind of composition where it's triangular. That's a very typical element to use in design work. We have a strong foundation, you know, goes off to the business. So I would set up all the characters that the high-res characters we were using in the FMVs, which were the full motion videos that we were using instead as the actual game characters. So we had 500 polygons in them. So now I think, what are the game characters running on now in polygons? Thousands of polygons. It's something pretty crazy. So these were the high-res ones. So I set them up and lit them so that they were consistent light and consistent eye level, and put them into the scene, and then used a bunch of stock footage to put in all the other stuff in there, and then made it into a composition for the magazine. I would go back into the models after they were rendered and paint them, make them even more real, push the realism, and just, it's like hyper real. And you may get some of that in games now that are very advanced, that are using a lot of really high-tech 3D stuff, but it still looks a little bit like zombies, like the uncanny valley, but really just not quite natural. If you just take motion capture from an actor and throw it on an animation, it looks kind of wrong. You have to go in and tweak it, you have to exaggerate it, you have to make it better. If you're just doing life, then just take a picture. You have something that looks just like that. If you want to do better than life, you want to get into fantasy, and you want to get into hyper-realism, then you have to be able to push it beyond that. No baby's going to float over a planet. But it looks like the baby's floating over a planet, and that all has to do with how with things moving around in the background. How do you make that do that? I hung up a lot of drapery around my studio, and I practiced on it and needed to make it look real. It doesn't come just out of nowhere. So that was kind of a long roundabout way of how I use my painting skills to get down into pixel art. So this was my very first game art piece that I've ever made, and it was a watercolor, and it was a logo for Color Dreams, and that was what got me started working with Dan Lawton and Color Dreams and what became Wisdom Tree. They didn't use it for very long. It's actually a watercolor with a overlay of acetate, and I inked on the acetate to make the black lines. Something you did in graphic design, because I was doing graphic design at the time. When they got the Ninja tool working, I went back to work for them, and actually kind of liked it. I was the only girl in the office, except for the secretary, and all the guys would come in at random times, and the typical hacker mentality out of unkempt and rather socially awkward guys, but they were all really cool. We used to turn around an 8-bit game in 3 months. So, but we used something called state machine. I didn't really understand at the time what a state machine was, but the state machine basically, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably know what a state machine is. It just, you put in the idea, the code for what you wanted it to do, and it would pick up another piece of code and put it in there, right? Because that basically it was like scripting. But it was all on DOS. And we saved all our games onto floppies and took them home at night. That was our offset.